Welcome back to Watching Movies with my pastor. Finally, we're getting a chance to actually sit and watch a movie.
Yes.
It's been since Scrooge.
Yes, it's been a while.
And we have talked for a long time about this next movie.
Yes.
I'm Jeremy, also known as the Spider-Pan of the Neverland website. Well, because it's now the Fandom Nexus. It used to be the Neverland podcast. The Fandom Nexus podcast. Many of you might be familiar with me, and you might have listened to this show because I've mentioned it on that particular podcast. And so you've crossed over. Thanks for crossing over to join us in the fun. And of course, with me is Pastor Phillip Coons.
Hello there. How are you?
And so I am literally sitting here watching movies with my pastor.
Aha.
And the fun thing is that I've actually even known you since we were I was 7 years older than me.
I was a little older. I was 8, becoming 9.
But you would have been maybe 7. Well, no, it was that fall.
Yeah,
because I think you guys
we
joined in. So
we joined in 1985, and I just was about to turn. I was 8. Just about to
for a few months we're the same age. I was 7 in 85.
Yeah, I was 8.
I turned 7 in that May, so you would have been turning 8 that August.
Yeah, I was 8, becoming 8. Yes.
Yes.
And I was really. Let's see. No, I was turning 9 that.
In 85?
85.
Because I would have been
born
7.
in 76. See?
Oh, wait a minute. I would have been 8 then in 85 then, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I was...
now that I think about it, see, I'm not good at math. That's why I don't do math. That's why we do this show. But overall, so the premise of this show is, of course, we watch a movie and we commentate. We watch a lot of movies. We've both seen them a billion times, so we can commentate on it. I've got some interesting facts I've pulled up after scouring all over the internet, my goodness. So we watch movies and we commentate and we dig up any spiritual concepts in here, which hopefully I put my scripture references directly in here because this has a lot of scripture references. In fact, the main theme of this movie is a scripture reference. We're about to watch the 2002 Spider-Man, which is almost the best Spider-Man movie ever made, but Spider-Man 2 is actually better than this one. And I love this movie, and I haven't watched it in such a long time, so I've been looking forward to sitting and watching this with you for...
And most of the time we have films you haven't seen yet. But
actually, no. Most of the time we've been movies we've watched.
Well, what I mean,
there's been one movie we've watched.
That was the original plan.
The idea.
And we will do that. But now,
I got to work on being able to have a camera that runs the entire time, doesn't skip a beat, and I do have everything set up for green screen and where I'm sitting, so I can make it look like we're sitting in the theater a little better.
Sure.
So we're working, but there are videos on our YouTube channel. If you look for Watching Movies with My Pastor, we do have where you can see video of a bit of the movie. If you want to be able to hear the movie, you're going to have to become a Patreon supporter or with Red Circle where we host this thing. If you look there in the show notes, you'll have links to become an exclusive member. Exclusive members will get to hear the audio of the film so you can watch along with us. Otherwise, you can still watch along with us, but it might be a little harder for you to sync up completely. Especially if we have to sometimes we have to break for an intermission for something happening. Like I get a phone call in the middle of it. Anything can happen sometimes when we watch these movies and we have to take a bit of a break. So in order to figure out where we're at, sometimes it helps if you hear what the movie is. But as you listen to the podcast version, if there's a clip of the movie that's particularly pertains to something we're talking about, I will try to get that clip in there so you can hear what it is. But the length of the audio podcast may not match the length of the movie unless you're watching the exclusive version, which will be completely unedited. But if we're not talking because we're watching the movie and we stop talking, I'm going to edit that out of the regular podcast. So there is reasons to become a patron on our Patreon page, which the Patreon page will be the same one. It's Neverland Podcast, I think, at Patreon. You will find links at neverlandpodcast.com for our Patreon as well. So you can join however you want. If you go to our YouTube, there'll be versions of it you can watch as video as well, but it'll mainly just be the audio with a little bit of a visual. So that's kind of how this works. You have lots of ways to be able to join in on this. And of course, you can become supporters through the Patreon and whatnot and everything. So, okay, I got all the business crap out of the way. So, see, he's the pastor. He can't say crap, but I'm not a pastor. I can say crap.
Well, I can, but I shouldn't, so I won't.
Because somebody will write letters like, he said crap.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I'll not say that. I'll say jazz in this case.
Okay, well, this is a PG-13 rated movie, so, take your audience suggestions in that. Of whether or not you should be watching this movie. Any parental units want to be in there. Okay, before we hit play, just a few little quick things, little bits of details. So Spider-Man was an Oscar nominated for sound and visual. Actually, won an Oscar for sound and visual effects. Oh, yes. Not surprising at the time.
I forgot about that.
Although I will say there is some effects that don't quite hold up. but that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Elfman won a BMI Film Music Award because Danny Elfman, that's why.
Now, what is the BMI? I don't remember.
I have no friggin' idea. It's something about a music, but he won an award. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
He won. I don't look up what these
Danny
things
Elfman is one of my faves.
He's one of the greatest.
There's only one to me that will always be number one, and that's John Williams. But that has nothing to do with this. But,
Heck fire.
But Danny Elfman is one of my favorite, or at least top 10.
Yeah,
and
he's in there.
I mean, Batman. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
I mean, he's great.
And this one,
great. Well, in Beetlejuice. I mean, there's so many others.
Yes.
I mean, he was so good. Anyway, he's really, really good.
He is. So also they've got a BAFTA, which that's like the British
Oh yes,
Academy of Film and Television, something, I don't know. But for visual effects, and that was for John Dykstra, Scott Stockdick, I think I got it right, Anthony La Molinara, and John Fraser. It premiered April 29, 2002 at the Man Village Theater, opening in the United States May 3rd, 2002 on a budget of $139 million. It made $831.2 million. Cha-ching! With a 90% review on Rotten Tomatoes, 67% audience score. That's kind of odd, isn't it? I would expect it to have been higher than that. And then a 4.7 out of 5 on IMDb. Metacritic has it ranked as a 73. And we'll talk about some of the actors as they make some appearances. And I've got some details on some of the casting. I found a lot of good stuff on there.
My favorite in the whole film is the villain, as far as actors go.
Heck yeah, he did. And there's a little bit
now,
of
don't get me wrong,
about
I like Tobey Maguire, but I still think that as far as in this film, Willem Dafoe is just,
Willem Dafoe, he can eat up scenery, man. He's amazing.
No one says no to me.
He's an Oscar
He's so
winner, man.
amazing.
He got an Oscar for Platoon, man.
There's only one role he ever did, which I wish he hadn't, but that's okay.
Yeah, we won't get into it.
No, we will not.
All right, but we are queued up at exactly 0, and I'm hitting play right now. So, doo-doo, and here we go. Now, I remember we've had this conversation, like, this is a very different superhero theme, and that until you kind of get used to the theme is almost underneath all these violins that are doing this quick thing. And you here's the theme at the beginning, that da-da-da, which is actually the Peter Parker theme.
Yeah, it is.
So you have a different theme between Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
It was always interesting.
But everybody gets kind of hung up on these opening violins. And I noticed in the second film, they brought up the volume a little bit more on the theme and brought these violins down.
I was saying it's interesting about a composer is how their music, their style, all sounds similar to where, but at first when you first hear a song, it says, oh, that sounds too much like blah, 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 blah. But really, that doesn't mean that they sound identical. Yeah. It's just that they sound similar because it's the same guy. It's like a style. It's just how it is.
Oh, and I remember I got to see this because our friend Josh, I haven't seen him in a long time, was working at a movie theater at the time and got us in to see now you can watch it at 7 o'clock, but he had to test, back when they had a reel before it was all digital, he had to test to make sure the reel was working. And when he did that, he was allowed to bring in some friends to sit and watch the movie to make sure it worked. And so I got to come in, I think Heather and I think James was, were you with us?
I don't think I was with you.
Well, I'm pretty sure James was with us. I remember being excited about some of the stuff they did, and James didn't quite understand everything with the Marvel and Spider-Man world.
Yeah.
But I drove Heather up the wall because I am a big-time Spider-Man junkie, and I was so excited for this movie. I'd been waiting for it like my entire life.
We've been hearing about the possibility since we were children.
Goodness. Yes. Especially teenagers. They talk about X-Men movies, and Stan Lee used to say it on the soapbox. So, we're going to make it.
The only one that we'd really had before,
Grant Curtis.
The only one we'd ever really had before in live action was the one from the 70s. And then they talked about in the 90s, and it got in, I don't want to say the phrase, but in heck, we'll just say it was put in heck. Because, and they kept talking about,
heck.
And they talked about James Horner. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else. No one, James Horner. That's the.
James Cameron wrote a script for it, which I have a copy of that.
Yeah. And it was
bought it at the mall.
Because James Horner was going to do the
James Horner
was going to do the music for it.
Well, James Horner did do music for the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
I wonder if he used some of the same music they talked about for. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
I need to double check that because it's either the first one or the second one. But I've got both of those.
Leonardo DiCaprio was the one they talked about having doing Spider-Man back then.
Yeah,
he would have done good at the time.
He would have been interesting, but he's too handsome.
But then at that time, all he had done was stuff that was growing pains and all that. He would have been pretty good in that.
Yeah, he was about the right age, but Leonardo DiCaprio is too handsome for Peter Parker. You don't want a very good looking guy. You want an average looking guy
who can. In all honesty, the only one I think who's fit that's the more recent one.
Tom Holland. Yeah, because he's not really that great at what and Toby was, and even that's one of the things that Sam Raimi used to talk about, that Toby was perfect because he was supposed to not be particularly handsome. Oh, I need to turn the volume back up on the movie. The music was so loud I couldn't hear you talk. But Toby was a great Peter. He was a better Peter than he was a Spider-Man.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah.
So he had that kind of low-key, but a Spider-Man, he can be a little bit more over the top.
I'm not a huge Tobey Maguire fan, but he did pretty good.
I think he did a good job, yeah.
Now, she was perfect for Mary Jane.
Although, it's not her natural hair. What I find funny, she's a natural blonde. They put a redhead wig on her. And then for Gwen Stacy, they get a natural redhead and turn her blonde.
Well, I just mean she fit perfectly for the role, too, because she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's just perfect. I love this part.
Yep. I mean, this is a great way to introduce Peter. So now, Tobey Maguire, for the role of Peter Parker Spider-Man, the filmmakers sought an actor who was not excessively tall or handsome, but who had the heart and soul for the audience to identify with. The studio expressed interest in Leonardo DiCaprio, Freddie Prinze Jr., Chris O'Donnell, let me scroll down here, Jude Law, Chris Klein, Ewan McGregor, Wes Bentley, and Heath Ledger. DiCaprio had been considered for the role in 1995 by James Cameron. Scott Speedman, Jay Roden, and James Franco were also involved in screen tests for the part. Joe Manganiello
I know what you're talking about.
That's hard to say his name, but his cast was cast as the bully Flash
just
instead.
Showed him right there, yeah.
Yep.
And he's
I'm not
awesome.
looking at the screen.
He's awesome. He's a great actor, but he wasn't well known at all then. He ended up being on a lot of stuff later, a lot of shows. I was trying to say a lot of shows later.
He makes a good Flash, though.
Yeah, he does.
And he is kind of tall, though. And it's like, you're too tall to be Spider-Man, but he does make a good Flash Thompson.
I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was all so excited. The first day, I was so excited, I had goosebumps nearly, because it's like, wait, it's so long.
We finally get a good Marvel movie.
And then I've been in that position so many times that I was like, oh, crud, this is too real.
Yeah, it's where you wave it, fingers waving at you, and she's waving at people behind you. And
I was like, oh, good. I wasn't really waving.
Oh, and here we go. I've still got more details on Tobey Maguire, but here's the first time we see Willem Dafoe. But James Franco, yes, originally auditioned to be Spider-Man. Yeah. But he's got those nice kind of curl back here in this that makes him really fit for Harry Osborn for having that curl.
And when I heard Willem Dafoe was going to be in this movie, I thought, that takes it up a notch. Of course, I'm really praising the dude, but he's such a good actor.
Yeah.
Platoon, he was so amazing in Platoon.
I'm going to skip a paragraph that I have down here because I have Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn. Nicolas Cage, Jason Isaacs, John Malkovich, and Billy Bob Thornton were considered for the role of Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, but turned it down.
Wow.
Willem Dafoe was selected for the part in November 2000. He was intrigued by the prospect of working with Raimi and by the idea of a film based on a comic book, and he insisted on wearing the Green Goblin costume himself, as he felt that a stuntman would not convey the character's necessary body language. The 580-piece suit took half an hour to put on.
That's why you got to love the man, because he didn't
committed to
any
that
star
role.
power. That's what you got to love about the guy. He really takes everything to heart.
Yep.
He's really great.
I'm something of a scientist myself. I missed the line there. That's become a meme so much.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he wants to adopt you.
And I love how they kind of made his hair a little reddish there.
Yeah, he looks like really Harry Osborn should be. He really just looks the part. I don't think James Franco is the greatest actor ever. No. But he looks the part for Harry.
James Franco always plays James Franco, but I like him.
Yeah.
I don't like everything he doesn't like, but I'm just saying I think he's in this role.
Yeah. Because really, he's in the that Oz movie, Oz the Great and Powerful. I didn't really like his performance as Oz there. But he's good at being kind of charming.
Yeah. But
he didn't, I don't know, it didn't work for me. But he's great as Harry.
And I thought he was good in, what was the movie I was just thinking of? What a jerk.
Yeah, trying to take a picture and bump. And here's where you're going to learn all kinds about spiders. I appreciate they still have it as some sort of scientific demonstration, but Stan Lee didn't know much about radiation. It was this spooky kind of thing, so he'd use it for everything.
Yeah, that was the thing in the 60s. But it was more like just scientific, it was almost just mysterious. That's all.
They didn't know anything. They just needed a reason. But this having genetic manipulation. But at the time, it's still
like that
fairly.
guy.
Right now, I guess our big science would be AI. That's mysterious. But at the time, with everything we were doing with genetics, it fit almost in the same way, where it's this mysterious thing that we didn't know what it was capable of causing.
That's why he went with the mutants.
Yeah.
When it came to the X-Men.
Because he didn't have to think of anything.
He said he's tired of coming up with, radioactive spiders and gamma rays.
And cosmic rays.
Yes, that's it.
This also is where Stan did something that was breaking the rules. Teenagers were sidekicks.
That's right.
Robin and Speedy and all that,
Yeah.
And suddenly he's making
others.
one being his main hero, which it was a last-ditch effort for Amazing Fantasy number 15. It wasn't supposed to carry on.
In fact, the only one...
Surprise, he was popular.
The only one that was a main character, I guess you could say, would be Superboy, which is still Superman, but it's just a flashback, if you will.
Yeah. Which I appreciate in 78, they got rid of the Superboy concept because it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, the only good thing about it was that you were able to see the league.
I kind of like this bullcrap thing. It's like, oh, spiders. Oh, I hate the things. Oh, yeah, I love them too. Yeah.
I know too many people who are that way. You're a jerk.
15 super spiders. 14. One's missing. Dun, dun, dun. Foreshadowing.
You see that teacher there? I know him from something else. I don't know what it is. I like him though. He's cool.
Oh, the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's really good. I love this. Like, the next person who talks will fail this class. I kid you not.
He's great.
New presentation. That's good. Yeah, I like him.
I think
He's
the only
really
problem with him, and this is nothing on him as an actor, is the only problem with him is he looks so young.
Yeah, well,
a lot of teachers are.
Oh, did we ever tell you about when Heather started teaching that one of the students tried to make a pass at her and get a phone number? Yeah, because she was young coming in to start teaching.
Yeah, that
she was substituting.
Beautiful young lady, it's going to happen.
It was funny. So I like this. This is kind of sweet. It's like his dream moment. I was like, oh my gosh, I got her to stay behind.
I love that he says that's impossible. She says, don't make me look ugly. That's impossible. Oh, that's smooth, man.
And he's not trying to be smooth. He just says what's coming to his head. But
it makes it look believable.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't done this, he wouldn't become
the right underneath where that spider's coming down. It's the hand of fate, hand of God coming down saying, I'm about to give you powers, kid.
That's right.
And she's so stupidly funny at this. Like, like she doesn't know what to do.
Showing her modeling.
Yes, the modeling that would come along in the comics later and the actor thing. They managed to get it all in there. So there was such love for the characters that Sam Raimi had, these writers, that they got in there. And here it comes. I love
that it has the red and blue.
Yes, the colors of the spider.
I was so excited about it.
Yeah. And I love the look on his face, like, oh my gosh, that's one of their super spiders, isn't it?
I love how
and he got bit right in the vein.
You can see it on there. Oh, it looks painful.
And how Purley goes over to there and it has like new species created.
And it shows you all those powers right there. Jumping
spider sense, precognition speed. Yep. New species. It's so clever.
Yeah, it is.
And now we get to see Oscorp.
Now, I don't know.
And Mendel Strom. It's too bad they kill him off because he's a lot of stuff in the comics.
Good actor, too.
Yeah. But one thing Strom has been involved in a lot of stuff in the comics.
One thing they did in a lot of these movies was they'd base some of these characters like Osborn, who they already had, but they put a kind of a Trump-like way about him, like a little bit of Donald Trump-like way,
Yeah. I wonder if they'd have had a chance of doing the full MCU if this would have been Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh.
Well, except for they kill him, though, too.
Well, yeah.
But how cool would it have been this General Slocum would have been General Thunderbolt Ross coming in there.
He sure looks the part.
And then they could have snuck like Bruce Banner working in the Oscorp labs or something. Would have been so cool. And Insanity. There's your... and Willem Dafoe. He can be so charming. Just that great smile as he's like... You see like the smart businessman coming through. He's like, oh, well, everybody else thinks this is ready to go for human testing and back to formula. And I love that he says that again to him later. Back to formula. This general is kind of a jerk, though.
Oh, yeah. I love that actor. I've seen him in a lot of things.
Pops up in little small roles.
Yeah, he's he looks like so many other actors. And he always reminded me when I first saw him. He reminded me of Mr. Tate from Bewitched.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And I bet he's like the COO or something, probably. Oscorp, That's one of the things I think I think Heather has said something about. It's like, if you own a company, that'd be the problem with going.
I love this actor.
Yeah, I forgot his name. But going public with stocks is whoever buys your biggest shareholder suddenly gets power in your company.
Yeah.
So, which is what happens to him later.
And I will say this, as much as I like some of the other actresses, this is the only Aunt May that really fits the comic.
Yes. Yes, I am on my backside. A little bit more about Toby. Mm-hmm. So he was cast July 2000, having been Raimi's first choice for the role after he saw Maguire in The Cider House Rules.
Yeah.
The studio was initially hesitant to cast someone who did not seem to fit the ranks of adrenaline-pumping, tail-kicking titans, but Maguire managed to impress studio executives with his audition. The actor signed a deal in the range of $3 to $4 million with higher salary options for 2 sequels. To prepare for the role, Maguire improved his physique over several months by training with a physical trainer, a yoga instructor, a martial arts expert, and a climbing expert. He studied spiders and learned how to perform arachnid-like movements.
Look behind him. There's that you see on so many places on like everybody's Raymond.
Weird hanging things.
You see it's the spoon and the fork.
Yeah.
And they have that in so many old homes. And everybody loves Raymond has it. And
yeah.
Now, everybody loves Raymond. You later on find out it's because they kind of have to have them there. It's funny.
An old-fashioned doorbell there on the wall.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
because it looks real.
It's a very lived, but you gotta love that his wall is covered in like spiderweb looking design.
I never thought of it before. Of course, I love that. That's one of the things I loved about the film too was very skinny, like he was in the comic. Yeah. In the comic, they had
a little bit of computer trickery to put a different body on Toby.
Yeah, very good.
I think I can't remember, but there's another actor who got to be the body and they put Toby's head, similar to what they did for Captain America in the first Avenger. But look how the bite is so swollen.
And you can see how much better they were able to do it then because,
Yeah. But just thinking about the kind of nightmare, in some of these clips, even the eyeball shot was actually for a horror movie.
Was it? Wow.
I forgot what movie it was.
Sam Raimi,
In the making of, you can see that, but it's actually this eyeball shot. That's a horror movie that they were working on. And they thought, well, let me just grab that and put it in there because they wanted to show the terror that Peter has. Like, this thing bit me. What's happening to me? I'm all sick now. Am I dying? No idea.
Sam Raimi really does good with the horror. Which,
yes.
Why I
We've
love.
seen the second movie. Ooh.
And one thing, well, we'll talk about it, I guess, in a little bit. But you got one of my favorite actors in here, who's one of Sam Raimi's big guys.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. I also love here is that you get all this green around.
Yes.
Green Goblin was kind of that character.
And it's very comic book style.
Very
of having
much
those
so.
colors, using them.
And I like that there's not a lot of colors, just because they do that in the comics,
They focus on, especially in the 60s where Sam was reading.
You only had to have the
70s, 80s,
Back then, you could only use sometimes
so
5
many
or 6 colors
sometimes that you could get to look good. And even Hulk, they couldn't get the green right.
That's right.
You
couldn't get
a little bit of gray.
Right. Yeah. That's why you had to go to green. Because
the gray was given problem, but they still used the gray thing for
later on in the 80s when they knew.
Yeah. I kind of like that little comment when he puts the things up. Ooh, cold.
And a lot of people don't know this.
Humanizes them.
That's why a lot of people, they don't know this, but that's why they a lot of times will have the comic book characters like Bruce Banner and all wearing orange pants and all. It's because it was one of the colors they had, so they had to use it up, Yeah, it's not extremely realistic, but also it could have been like a brown that,
Or, hey, why not purple?
Yeah, exactly. And that became the thing.
Yeah.
I don't mean the character the thing, but that's the thing to use.
And I appreciate that they did keep it as a gas.
Yes.
Because it is in the comic, it was a gas. And it was actually a freak accident that he ended up breathing the gas. But then he learned, the formula of what it was and became obsessed with gaining power.
This part is interesting, kind of a seizing thing.
Yeah, like he has a creepy seizure and his eyes are rolled back and stuff.
So I can understand some of that.
Yeah. And the blood pressure.
His muscles are messing with him. This guy's a good actor here.
Yeah.
Both are.
Yeah. And because it's kind of terrifying. And it's weird because Peter's transformation is a little bit like, oh, I'm sick and I'm going to just lay here. And then his transformation into the Green Goblin is this violent, seizing moment.
And Toby's was an accident. Peter's was an accident.
Yeah, but
his was not.
He's sleeping through it, though, as he's mutating.
And his
is the shaking, violent, scary. And then here we go when he revives. I love this when he grabs him.
Even his pupil came in.
Yep. Back to formula. Willem Dafoe. The way he even gets in there, he's that thing you're going to see him on the glider do so much. Oh, the movements. Oh, and he even had a great laugh and voice for it. Now, what would you do if one morning you woke up, realized, oh, I see just fine. My glasses make it worse.
I would like
And you look in the mirror like this. I love this. And suddenly like...
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. I would not complain.
Yeah.
Thanks for the spider, Lord.
Yeah, thanks for the spider. Although I don't know if he's fully realized what's happened here. Of course, because you wouldn't. You'd be like... And he just says, weird.
But I must tell you...
I love the double take and like looks at himself in the mirror. Like, I have muscles now?
Where we live at, we would not be able to swing back and forth on things.
Right. Not in the suburbs of Kansas City. I'm fine. Yep, big change. Yeah, I love this. Now, the fun thing is also that Tobey Maguire is a vegetarian, and so he had to figure out how to get some protein for while he was exercising to kind of help build it up. So, I mean, he really had to pay attention to his diet. But it's almost weirdly creepy that his window is right across from Mary Jane's window of her bedroom.
Yeah, it is.
Because you would accidentally see them. And especially because they're not really keeping their windows closed. So she might have looked over on... Well, no, he's also scrawny, but I don't know.
I love him. Oh, the uncle is really good.
He's so far the best. I mean, I kind of like Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
but this guy's so much better for... And then
I've seen him play some historical people before. Can't remember which ones right now, but I've seen him in history.
Yeah, I think I've seen like later. I've seen where he did stuff in his earlier career. Raging hormones, they never change. He's such a great Uncle Ben.
He is.
And I love the fact that there's your Evil Dead car right there.
Yeah,
it is. Uncle Ben's car is the Evil Dead car.
And I've seen that. My aunt used to have a car very similar to that. And but there's a lot of cars she had. But that was, I mean, people have, but she had that car my whole life.
This is very character development for Mary Jane. Because you see, she's got a really messed up home life, but she, very much in the comics, she puts on her party girl persona.
She's perfect on the outside. On the inside, there's something dark. I'm talking about her home,
And Peter's the only one that gets to see her be more
real
herself.
Her,
being neighbors, I guess, makes a difference.
He knows the real her.
Yeah.
And he sees the greatness.
He's accepting of her as she is.
You don't have to put on a show with me. Yeah.
In the comics, it took a long time before they really see Mary Jane as her normal personality because, she's always been just a party girl, to where when she tries to comfort Peter after Gwen Stacy's death, and he's just like, no, I don't need your stuff right now. Go away. And you see the change in Mary Jane's character as she's starting to leave when Peter tells her to leave, and she closes the door. She's like, no, my friend needs me.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody knew, like, wait a minute, Mary Jane might be different than what we thought she was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a collection of the death of Gwen Stacy, and that's kind of how it ends, where you see where it's like, no, Mary Jane, I don't need your party, whatever, never stuff. And then you see the look on Mary Jane's face, and she starts to leave, but then she closes the door, and she's like, no, I'm not leaving him. You just kind of see it, and I'm like, oh, so well done visually without any dialogue. Oh, this is such a great scene here too. He doesn't know how he got home.
Yeah, there's Flash.
Yeah, the little flash of memory. It's kind of scary the way too. Sam Raimi.
The truth is, he did a great job. And the sound effect.
Yes.
But being one who's had seizures many times, I've had flashback type memory things, and it is a little scary because you don't know exactly what you did.
And it is presenting part of the Green Goblin, especially in the early days. He had almost like a split personality.
Yeah. And
I like even Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, you got to see that sometimes he didn't even realize he was being other people.
Wow, that's cool.
And I like the way they kind of almost do that, but yet he has some sort of indication.
High school. Yeah.
And I love the line coming later. It's like, oh, don't look at me like that. You've known all along.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to himself.
Yeah.
Now, what they've said is that Tobey Maguire pulled this catch himself.
Huh.
So like this tray and all that, I don't know how many tries, but he actually managed to catch it all on that tray. I don't know how many takes it takes to get that right, but they said, no, we they didn't want to use computers to do it because computers didn't always look very good. As we'll see in a scene later, the computer doesn't look very good when he's first climbing a building in his weird spider wrestling outfit. It looks really bad. And I like her hair better in this one than the second one. The second one, the weird faded blonde thing they tried to do, it just looks, her color scheme is all like very earth tone and it just doesn't fit the same. But this wig that they had her in looked really good and believable. And it was a nice, good, solid Mary Jane red.
Oh, that freaked you out.
Yeah, it freaked you. Just like you suddenly got this coming out.
Now, this is one thing they did have to change for the sake of the movie. The web coming out of him instead of him creating it out of a machine.
And instead of having to make the shooters.
It made some sense in the sense that...
Now, the original plan, I don't know if you knew this, he was going to have web shooters, but they were going to be to help him focus the web. So he was going to generate the web himself, but he would have web shooters to help him fire the webs.
Yeah, I see.
That was going to be the original plan, and they actually showed some photos of what the web shooter was going to look like. But they decided, no, let's just let him shoot it out of his hands and let it go.
Yeah.
But that's also where you have this really funny scene where he's trying to figure out how to make the webs work.
Yeah.
They probably should have went ahead and put the web shooters on in there. I love this too. The first time we get a spider sense, but it was a very expensive shot. So it was. But showing them to seeing the fly, just showing you just how aware of everything the spider sense when it goes off, what he's aware of. Boosh. And it is very funny. I mean, very much like the comic. And initially, what had happened is he nearly got hit by a car and jumped up on a wall. But how quickly his reflexes just give him the natural ability where he jumps up and does the flip. I mean, dodging, okay, that's one thing. But when he does the sudden jump.
I like this.
Yeah. Very Superman Flash. He's like, I'm super fast now. But he just does it acting on instinct. Like a spider. Because like the jump flip, it's not a very coordinated flip, but he's able to do it. And it's very much just like his amazing leap away from the car in the comics that happened. I think whoosh, 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 whoosh. But then like I think all the frustration of Flash just finally comes out where he finally hits him back. And Flash gets hit again. But I like that you see on his face all the years. Oh, yeah, the chubby guy back there got to be in a lot of stuff in Chuck and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I've seen all those.
And I like that he's clapping for Peter. And well, not in this shot, but the other shot right before, you see him kind of clapping like Flash has been a pain in his butt too.
Oh, yeah. And everybody.
Because you can see he's not a particularly handsome guy. He's overweight. Flash probably always gave him a hard time too. But that actor gets to pop up in a lot of things after
seen him
this.
On there, Yep. And that's how I pretty much.
But I love the look.
That's pretty much how I looked in high school, by the way. The wavy hair,
but the look where he looks at with his hands done like fired webs and all this weird stuff. Then he turns his hand over and looks at that bite, and he suddenly realizes, oh my gosh. No, now moment of confusion that people got here. I've heard people think that these are spikes coming out of his fingers. These are hairs.
Yeah.
Spiders have little hairs that actually cause static. That where they actually how they climb. So they're trying to indicate that, but most people don't know that. So they like, oh, he's got spikes in his fingers. No, that's Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man of 2099 had spikes. Yeah. But Spider-Man would be like, it's like same as a spider. He's got like little hairs. But this shot here actually looks pretty good and holds up well. Now, granted, I bet they're probably doing this very much like Batman in 66 did, climbing a wall, and it's actually a sideways thing. And I like the way they spare the fact they know the jumping shots don't necessarily look very good, so they'll cut over to Toby in a close-up to kind of hide the fact that the computer effects are not perfect.
Here it is.
Yep, I love this. And I love the fact that when he swings here, he's going to slap right into a windshield like a bug. Go Web! Fly. I don't know what he was thinking, fly. And he's so close with that one. I love the sound they managed to come up with for the webs coming out. Here we go.
It's dangerous, but it's fun.
Yeah. I love the way it's the learning curve. They were important to show him he's got to learn to use his powers. So he's going to screw up. Oh,
So you mean...
I love this. Right into the windshield on a mural.
So you mean you don't just start off knowing every little thing and doing every little thing?
Yeah.
If it was Ray...
And I love this. He's not fully responsible. He's very teenage, so he's completely forgotten to come and help Uncle Ben
Now,
paint.
if he was Ray, and talk about Star Wars now, if it was Ray, he would have known everything right away.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He could even Jedi mind trick people.
Yeah.
I love that. You see the paintbrush roller down there and like, oops, you were going to help paint the kitchen. Michelangelo. And there's the note. But yeah, May and Ben have gone somewhere because you notice the car wasn't out there. So I don't know where they went, but letting the paint dry probably because it probably smells. But yeah, you got to feel like a heel a little bit like, oh, I was supposed to help paint the thing. But he's probably been out playing around with his new powers. And I understand that you'd be like, oh, I got the powers now. Look what I can do. And then such a good scene here. There's so much in this sign, even what Peter says. See, and I appreciate that's very Peter Parker. Like, is he okay? Like, kind of sorry. I didn't mean to. Although somewhere he must have been thinking he wanted to be a teacher because that's, what he ended up doing after he finishes college.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he became a teacher for a while.
I never did read that. I always saw that he was just a photographer.
Yeah. It's more, as time has progressed, it doesn't make much, sense for, newspapers are kind of gone. But news has moved to the internet, so you still need photographers, but you'd have a different sort of camera now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, digital.
Speaking as a guy who works at the television station, the cameras have changed.
Oh.
This reminds me of Encino Man, where the girl in the dreams, remember, but they used to be like friends, and we even took baths together when we were little, I don't know, this kind of reminds us like, they probably had conversations, they probably played together a little bit as kids, but it's like somewhere or another they've got disconnected with each other.
Especially when the girl gets prettier, and she gets popular, and you don't, Well,
apparently he always thought she was pretty.
Yeah.
Aunt May, is that an angel? She says it later. There's a very telling bit of lines too. Something's different. Something you've never felt before. Because he's like, his entire world got changed today.
What for me?
For you? You're gonna light up Broadway.
I like this.
You're taller than you look.
I hunch.
It's like she's seeing him in a whole new way because no one has really expressed any real faith in her and what she wants other than party girl Mary Jane, except for the real Mary Jane and how he's expressing stuff. And then I was like, you're taller than you look. She's like seeing him in a whole new light.
Right here, just a second. Yeah. She's a good actress.
Yeah. It just switches. Here's party girl back.
It's like they both have double personalities.
Double life.
Because she's got a mask too. It's just not the kind you wear as far as.
And it's a sad mask. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
But he lets her
and
just
to be truthful,
and is confident.
She's a more realistic character in that sense but all reality, Peter's realistic too in the sense that we all can be that way.
Yeah, we can relate to Peter very much so.
Us, I mean, nerds and all, and that's just facts.
And as they say in Chuck, sometimes the nerd gets the girl.
Not sometimes.
As is my life.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. I love the way they funnel this into wrestling and treat wrestling like it's real.
What I love, I like that. Well, especially my second favorite, I got top 10 and many others. But my 5 faves of all time, Hulk Hogan being number 1, and number 2 being the man who's we're getting ready to see, Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, snap into his Slim Jim.
That's his real voice, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it
I
be
love it,
amazing
man.
to be able
He's
to
the best.
sound like that, which is when you're talking.
That was him. Oh, yeah.
Like you'd be Batman all the time.
He was raspy dude, but great. I loved him.
Playtime.
Yeah, I love him.
See, this is the first time you really hear the Spider-Man theme
Yeah,
playing.
and I love that.
And the violins are not there, but now you hear that as you get a good look at the costume. Dun, 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 dun.
It's perfect, really.
I love this. It's so silly. Trying to learn how to aim.
At least they're not trying to product place.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper, anyone? So he's, even though normally like Spider-Man, his agility and stuff kind of helps him hit what he's wanting to throw a web at. But I like having, he's got to learn, you know. So he's still testing what his powers can do and what he can do.
Look at that room.
Yeah, he made an entire spider web out of his room like that. Good thing it dissolves in a couple hours.
Yeah, that's right.
And there we go. Daily Bugle. They did a good design for the Daily Bugle.
Great, it really is.
Yeah. Oh, and it's how creepy you hear that Green Goblin laughing somewhere, like
Yeah, it's
echoing around the
terrifying
room.
because it sounds like some critter or something, monster.
And it's all that other personality in his own head.
And this is where
it's like he senses there's something weird about him, but he doesn't know what it is.
And this is where you get back. It's so great to have the horror movie.
Yes,
You
a
know,
horror director
history.
knows how to be scary. Make a villain scary. Let them just be evil for evil's sake. For crying out loud, it works. It's entertaining. That's how we love a good villain. Thanos is in love with death. He's not trying to save the universe.
That's right.
There shouldn't have been people saying, Thanos is kind of right. No.
A villain is a villain.
Thanos should not be considered to be right in what he's doing.
This vehicle makes me miss my Aunt Elsie.
Bruce Campbell wants
This
his
is great.
scar back. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh, it's a great conversation. The
They
lesson.
seem real.
Yeah. And I like how this shows that the time has been passing.
Mm-hmm.
You sure as hell finished.
You sure finished it.
Run away?
No, you're not supposed to run away, but Pete, look, you're changing. I know. I went through exactly the same thing at your age.
No, not exactly.
But he answers it just like a teenager.
Yeah. Kind of cocky.
Kind of cocky and just not listening.
No. Hearing, but not listening.
Yeah. Just be careful.
That's so great.
Mm-hmm.
So real.
And this is a great talk. It really is. Doesn't give you the right to. Yeah.
I love it.
Here we go. With great power comes great responsibility.
And he says it's so realistic.
From whom much is given, much is required.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I should have looked the verse up and
believe
written
it's
it down.
Deuteronomy.
I probably put it down in my notes somewhere.
Well, he was Deuteronomy. But
And this is so heartbreaking when he says, "I know I'm not your father." That's where a normal person, being mature and not being irresponsible, would say, like, "You've been a father to me, though. Don't say that."
that's right.
But he's an immature, stupid teenager, and he's like, "Stop pretending to be my father."
Actually, Actually, it's Proverbs. Let me see what it's on.
Yeah, pull that up. I probably got it in my
So
notes.
much is given, much is required is a Proverbs, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe it's Solomon who says it.
Oh, I got something out of Luke 12 here too. Then the master of that slave will come on a day that he does not expect. Oh, the parable of the talents. And at an hour that he does not know, and will cut him in two and assign him a place with the unbelievers.
Yeah, Luke 12:48.
Yeah, and that slave who knew his master's will and did not get ready or act in accordance with his will will receive many blows. But the one who did not know it and committed acts deserving of a beating will receive only a few blows. For everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and to whom they entrusted much, of him they will ask all the more.
That's right. It's Jesus says that. Pardon me, I had that wrong.
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Macho Man. There's Bruce.
Bruce Campbell up here. Bonesaw! Bonesaw is ready.
One of the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you find out that Sam Raimi had a plan the whole time to make Bruce Campbell a villain, That was a great idea.
People were saying he'd have been a great Mysterio.
That was his plan.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was that he was going to be Mysterio. He was going to show up in all these roles until I think it was the fifth one. They was going to have him be Mysterio.
That'd have been great.
But it was that he was going to be appearing as all these characters and really be Mysterio.
First time you ever see her, she's become kind of famous now.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Octavia Spencer.
She's great.
Yep.
She was on that movie where she played what? I can't. Was it the slave girl or was it the? I can't remember. No, she cleaned for those people, and she was so good. I can't think of the name of it right now.
I can't think of what.
She's awesome.
Yeah. That makes me almost wonder, like at carnival events, if they actually did stuff where they'd have some guy out there, like he's going to take on all comers, and they have all these.
They did do that at one point.
Yeah.
The Carnies. That's how wrestling got built up.
That's so much him where he'd get on the ring ropes and be like,
oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, nodding his head and everybody like, yeah.
He was doing all sorts of stuff at that time, drug-wise, you could tell.
I love this. The human spider, that sucks. That's the best you got. And I love this. You say the spectacular, the amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, terrifying.
Here it comes.
Here we Zing Spider-Man. I love it.
I had a figure of that at one time.
Sam Raimi's hand is the one that pushes him out there to go.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you can almost see him. He tried to look away so you don't really see his face. But yeah, Sam Raimi wanted to be the guy that put him out, so he did. Now, I think these girls were actually some of the Nitro girls, I've heard, but I'm not sure about that.
They look like, if nothing else, ECW or whatever it was, they look like that type of thing.
Yeah. Feel my legs. Just to make it like, oh my gosh, what did I just walk into?
Notice how they have the sign covered so that you don't see what's wrestling it really is.
Yeah. It's the NWF.
Yeah.
I believe. Or NWL?
I don't know.
It's New York Wrestling League.
Oh, there you go.
NYWL. See, you can kind of see NY in there right there. Which kind of makes sense, being New York. You know, that's where you're like Madison Square Garden and all that kind of stuff.
Started.
Yep.
For WWF.
Nowhere. I love Macho Man. For 3 minutes.
Anytime. He's freaky looking then.
Whoop. Now here's some jokes you cannot get away with now.
No.
Staying away from you.
Oh,
see that joke there? It's funny, but you can't make that joke nowadays. No. Yeah, cage match.
Oh,
yeah, and that's chair shot to the head. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
No.
Concussion protocols. He even breaks the chair a little bit. You see, it's bent.
Yeah. Harder. Well, they're nice.
Yeah, hit him harder. The cool thing is, like, this is where Peter learns how much of a beating he can now take.
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't ever actually pins him, but yet he gets, hey, you pinned him in 2. No, he didn't pin him. He knocked him the heck out. And the ref probably would have had a 10 count or whatever, like you'd see in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you're down and not getting up. I'm going to count you.
I love this. Boom, boom. That's a teenager. I'm awesome thing.
Yeah. And this guy, they got the right person to play this part because he does seem just like a greasy jerk.
Yeah. I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
You're lucky to get that. And I love he calls him Webhead.
Which he used to get called a lot.
Mm-hmm. And he gave you a better show than you ever expected, though. So
I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you see how filthy they are. They got
with all these.
I never even noticed that
all over the place.
Yeah. So I usually don't watch it on a big screen like that. I mean, not just a theater.
Yeah, you normally.
Now, I've seen this dude on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah. He does a good job of being this guy. Crucial moment. Here we go. And I love how focused they are about him stepping away. In the comics, he actually says, like, he tells the police officer, hey, it's not my job.
Yeah.
But that purposeful, that look he has on his face, he steps out of the way and lets the guy go by. This guy reminds me of Jesse Ventura.
He sounds like him.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. That is, it's harsh to hear that. It's almost like when Scrooge says, well, if he's going to die, they better do it and decrease the surplus population.
That's right.
It's exactly that moment.
It's that cotton.
And that satisfied look he's got on his face. Like, no one's pushing me around anymore.
Well, doing to others as you'd have them to, not as they do. But see, that's what a lot of people do a lot of times. You
got it.
And I understand it because, quite frankly, I've done that when I've been a cocky little jerk, thinking, hey, you hurt my feelings, I'm going to hurt you back.
Yeah.
And then you grow up and you say, you know what? I can't do that because that makes me no better than anyone else. And I'm supposed to be like Christ, not like everyone else.
Right. Oh, this is so heartbreaking here, though, too.
This really hurts.
Yeah. Especially when he's kind of almost like he can't see and he kind of looks around for Peter when he hears Peter.
Yeah, he's slipping.
You just see he's fading.
This made me cry first couple times I saw it, especially.
Even though you kind of know it's coming. But
we knew it was coming, but
the way he looks around, looks for Peter.
It looks so real.
Yeah. You just make him believe it.
That's good acting, dude. Oh, that shot just hurts.
Yeah. And his last word's just Peter. Just enough to remind him, don't forget what the last thing I said to you was,
And honestly, when they did the third movie, I think they messed this up a bit.
Yeah, they should not have messed with this.
No, it's because it's too good the way it already was.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they wanted to have him be like vengeful, so they have a real excuse for the black suit to really bond with him. But they could have come up with something else.
They could have done it in another scene. They didn't have to. Don't mess with this.
And here's where we hear that Spider-Man theme really kick in because we just went for the Peter Parker
scene
theme
here. With that music, with that thing, remind me of the Batman '89, just because the sound of and going through the aisle and
That's where you realize, this is a good theme for Spider-Man. But this is where it just doesn't look very good, especially this shot here.
Yeah,
the animation just does not hold up.
Well, even then, I remember seeing it thinking, okay, it's definitely CGI.
He looks a lot better with the full suit on, without the face.
Yeah,
because the face part,
because that's the part that you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the other doesn't either, but still.
But for the time, this was still pretty good, computer animation. We're still new. I mean, this is 2002 when they came out, so.
Now that part.
Yeah. And here he's finally going to get the web slinging right. It's like this big moment. He looks, I don't know, somehow his eyebrows and that mask, he looked like Sub-Zero from the Mortal Kombat movie. I know. Every time I see that, it's like, it looks like, when Sub-Zero kind of looks up at that one shot in Mortal Kombat.
There you go. That's freaky. I remember trying out that game and it was difficult.
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, I remember the Spider-Man 2 game, I was trying to keep a hold of a web. But then I realized, let go of the web and fly through the air a little bit, then send the next one.
It took me a while.
You see him figure that out too. Like he starts to let go and then hit another one. So you keep that momentum and you don't slow yourself down by, trying to hold on to two lines.
This is just a great scene altogether.
Yep, it is great. And you see him not quite in control as it swings.
Not 100%.
Yep.
Which is good. It's like he's barely missing his rear end there.
And the freaky strength that he just punched through the top of steel. And showing how the spider sense is working to let him know where the shots are at so he can dodge the bullets. Which is why I tell people Batman doesn't stand a chance. Spidey will know where he's coming and Batman relies too much on the shadows. And I love that out of control jump over the bridge too. Learning curve. That's how you do it. Learning curve. You don't come out of superhero training school quoting Macbeth, right? But I love how quickly that very spider-like ability of just hiding in the shadows like this that he does. I
would love to see a scene where Batman and Spider-Man together come down into this music and all. It would be fun. Da-da-da-da-da. And then Spider-Man.
Yeah. But, it just reminds me of when you have that spider in the room and you lose track of it, and now you can't find it.
Yeah, I killed
That's
one
exactly
yesterday.
what he's doing
Because
here.
the same reasons. Like, I'm not giving you a chance, man.
Yeah. It's one of the things he's even said, like, I think the anniversary issues that some of the things he inherited from the spiders, liking to be in high places, liking to kind of be and not seen. Ugh, this is a big scene. I love the way they've made it to where he doesn't see the face until he lifts the guy up and then realizes, oh. Oh, it's so heartbreaking to think about. Oh my gosh. But it's foundational. If you don't do that in some fashion, you miss everything about who he is as Spider-Man. Getting powers didn't make Peter Parker Spider-Man.
No.
That's what made him Spider-Man right there. And they had to let him die because he saw his face,
Yeah.
So, but it also, you see that the death of the thief really brought him no satisfaction.
No.
You can't see on his face. It's like, yeah, you got the guy, but it's your fault. In the end, it comes down to you. And what's the thing is, clearly he must have went out the window. It's like, how the spotlight not catch him going out the window and up on the roof? Oh, well.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he
Went back at the
up to
ceiling
and went up
cops,
there, yeah.
Cops would not even think to look at the
No,
ceiling.
no one would, yeah. Oh, that's what he did.
That's such a great shot.
It is. This part, I think, hurts me more than anything.
Oh my gosh, having to go and tell your aunt like that what happened. Oh my, she might have.
Ben's dead. Yeah,
Because you would think she might have gotten a phone call by now about it. But
Ben's dead. He just said, yeah. Oh, that hurts so bad.
Oh, yeah. But then to kind of get back, it's like, oh, by the way, there was somebody else who got powers that day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while we're building this scene up, what would be funny was if this was like a Stark Industries armor test. It would be funny. But anyways, Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Kate Bosworth, Eliza Dushku, Jamie King, and Mina Suvari unsuccessfully auditioned for the role of Mary Jane Watson. Kate Hudson was offered the part but turned it down. Elizabeth Banks auditioned but was told she was too old, and she was cast as Jameson's secretary, Betty Brant, instead.
And I love her, Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, she
She's
did
great.
good. Raimi also considered Alicia Witt for the role, but she would have had the hair and everything.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst auditioned and earned the role a month before filming began. To create Mary Jane's red hair, Dunst's hair was dyed in the front, and she wore a half wig. They wanted to get her teeth straightened, but she refused.
Who's that?
Kirsten Dunst's teeth. The producer, they wanted to have her teeth straightened for this, but she refused.
Yeah. Well, you need something realistic, though.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people...
It might have looked unnatural if they put like a teeth thing in there, to make her teeth look thing.
You didn't even say all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dad?
Yeah. But then he goes to Peter and he suddenly got this great fatherly advice all of a sudden. Graduation. And so Harry's just like, yeah, he's forgot I'm even here. But he's like, the end of one thing, the start of something new.
And here they are.
Yep. Whatever, yeah. Yeah, and it's all this stuff he's going, it's like, this is only the second time we realize that he's probably even seen Peter. It just doesn't seem like I guess he's never gone over to their house or whatever to study or whatever or something to where, or at least Norman was never there when they were both there.
Yeah.
But you kind of get the sense of like he hadn't ever met him until the beginning of this movie. And so he's trying to be like, oh, I'm such a father figure to you. Not really. I mean, you're trying to be.
He's trying to be nice. That's nice. But at the same time,
you're neglecting your own son.
Yeah. People can do that sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so empty with that shot because the house is there, and then right in the middle where Uncle Ben's car should be, it's not there. You feel that emptiness, like it's like something's missing.
This part.
Mm-hmm. They did take a lot from Superman.
Oh yeah,
where you have because the movie's about to undergo a 360 change to feel like a completely different movie when they get into this next chapter.
Superman, one of the greatest movies.
This is and we'll watch that one.
Oh
next.
yeah,
but this is very much almost like reminds me of the scene where right before Clark leaves the farm and he's looking at that field. This is that moment where it's just saying goodbye to Mom, except for Aunt May's going to be around. So.
Yeah.
But Aunt May is so foundational.
Great actress
too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he was there. Mm-hmm. And I threw it in his face. So foundational. And when you didn't do that for Tom Holland, that's one of the reasons why it's not feeling like Spider-Man. He doesn't seem to have that weight of responsibility. Yeah. Although that last movie, with Aunt May dying, somehow or another that made the weight of everything fall on him to where now he felt a little bit more like Spider-Man.
Tom Holland does a great job of fitting the role in a lot of ways. However, the problem with it was that they tried it twice and didn't give it much time between both. It was just like, blam, 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 we're going to get it some way.
Because in a lot of ways, the powers are a burden. And really, we've seen Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's always just trying to prove himself. That's not who Spider-Man is. He's got the weight of responsibility about what he can do. And if he doesn't act, who's going to get hurt because he chose not to? I love that drawing there, too.
Yeah, it's really good.
I wonder who did that. And there it is. Great responsibility.
I would have liked to have seen how he got the
And here's where the movie transitions.
I wish they could have given him a costume. What I mean is how they've shown how he got it. Because but this is definitely this Superman goes from
this is Superman saving Lois, catching thieves. Except for he's doing it just like flies. Mm-hmm. And I love that we just get flashes of Spidey until we finally get a good look later. And this is so funny.
Yeah.
All right, now this is where I'm kind of weird. This one female diamond thief, I bet she might be cute. She looks kind of cute when you see her there. I kind of wonder who that is. This is so natural. It almost feels like they just found a couple construction workers to talk to them. Freaky do. Wackadoo.
I've seen him on something too.
Yeah. I love it. Courtesy of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now that I like.
I love it.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, giving Lucy Lawless a cameo was fantastic.
Lucy Lawless, yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
He looks like Owen Wilson to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Being hugged.
Now, I wish it had been Owen. That would be great. I love Owen Wilson.
Hey, man. He's like, this is like the first real good look we get in the costume.
Like a spider.
Oh, here he comes. J.K. This is the first movie I'd seen him
I love him.
He was so great.
I'd seen him in other things I didn't realize.
I used to think that no one would ever be better than Mr. Hugh. Oh, because he was in Mary Tyler Moore, and then he was on the animated series. You know who I mean?
Yeah.
He was perfect for in the cartoon, but then you get this. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got it. And I love that they give you everything you need to know about why he's Spider-Man. Why is he wearing this mask? Yep, she is pretty.
Yeah, use a button.
And I love Ted. Ted Raimi.
I love that dude too. Remember he's on Sister Act?
He's been in so much stuff. He's played cops before in other movies, and
I loved him on.
He passed away a few years ago.
No, I loved him. He was. Remember on
Get out of here!
I can't think of the name of the movie where regarding Henry.
Oh, that's been a long time, but yeah, he was the guy.
Yeah, he was one who helped Henry out. Harrison Ford's character.
Yeah, wow.
He's on Sister Act. He played the cop. Helped her out.
Yeah, that's right. I remember him in Sister Act. Yeah. J.K. Simmons.
I'm trying to remember that.
Stan Lee was actually interested in playing J. Jonah Jameson, but the filmmakers felt he was too old to convincingly play the part. Lee was supportive of the eventual casting of J.K. Simmons and felt that Simmons gave a better performance than he could have achieved. Hugh Jackman was supposed to have a cameo as the X-Men character Wolverine, but the appearance was scrapped after production team realized they did not have the character's costume. Wow, I've actually gone through all of my notes that I have for for Spider-Man.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. I love this. Don't roll your eyes at me. And she's not even looking at him. She's not really even looking at him. Don't you roll your eyes at me. I love that. It's so funny. Mary Jane, the waitress.
Well, he, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
The thing is he
But
he knows her.
Yeah.
Because that's why he knew that she was rolling her eyes.
Mm-hmm. And here's the brick wall in the face. Don't tell Harry. Don't tell Harry. Don't you know we're dating? Oh. Well,
the actor he was trying to think of was Ed Asner.
yes.
Who did the voice
He
and was
so
perfect.
great in the cartoon.
He did so many good roles.
Mm-hmm.
Remember he played Santa Claus on Old Elf.
Oh, I didn't like Elf, though.
I mean, he was good though.
Yeah, well, because Ed Asner.
Well, Ed Asner and Bob
He's amazing.
Newhart, you got some great
Yeah.
actors in there.
Yeah.
James Caan.
But anytime she's just kind of feeling bad about herself, he just happens to be
Yeah.
there. And this is so awkward, though.
Cute dimple.
Let's get some lunch some evening.
It is awkward.
Yeah.
Someday.
But that's very Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, other than the
Someday.
lesson of the great power, great responsibility, what's made him my favorite is I'm just as awkward socially.
Yeah, I've
say
done it.
backwards. Mm-hmm. I totally relate to Peter.
I can play cool, but it doesn't mean I'm feeling
Yeah.
cool. And don't tell Harry that part hurts because I've been in that.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Just like, oh,
I've been there, done that.
yeah.
See, he's kind of a creep too, really.
Yeah. Well, Harry, you know,
He's raised to be
in the
selfish.
comics, yeah, he has unfortunately got some bad upbringing. I mean, somewhere inside Harry's got a decent fella, but you know, I love that. Look like you just got second place in the science fair. Like, well, I just got second place with the girl I was after. Thank you, Harry.
That's right.
You know, I'll go ahead and shut off the computer.
Around.
Oh, I love this. The look he gives him. This is Mr. Girl in it. Sorry, Harry hasn't mentioned her.
He's a little. I like this how it goes back on Harry.
Mm-hmm. Traditional capitalist style thinking of I'm going to make it on my own. I'm not going to go and just take handouts. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to.
And it kind of falls back on Harry, like,
Yeah.
but you don't do that, do you?
Yeah, you depend too much on Daddy as well. I love the camera hanging by webs, even. So
That's
legit.
classic.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the comics and cartoons and everything.
Yeah. And how quick he has to be to set the camera up and then get out of there so he can swing in and like he wasn't already just there. The stomp, you know, just there's. They did a really good job with translating Spider-Man's fighting style. Those photos are really good. I love the look he looks like. How did you get this?
Yeah.
And then he starts
I
going,
love
oh,
this.
this is crap. This is all just crap.
You know what that reminded me of? The way he said that reminded me of the Joker. Crap, crap, crap.
Like a crap. Ah, now that's good work. Tell her to put a rug there. Oh, it's. I love the way his face just drops up. Menace.
Atticus.
Yeah. Goody.
You know
love him so
what Atticus is, right?
Atticus Finch or
Finch,
whatever.
yeah,
It's like, I haven't seen the movie, but
Oh, it's a great flick, yeah.
but I never said you had a job. Meat. Give you a nice box of Christmas meat. I love him so much.
He was almost too good for that role.
Yeah.
I mean, I love him. He's a great actor. I have seen him on so many movies.
Now, the odd thing about Betty Brant is she was actually supposed to be about Peter's age, but working as a secretary because she was like the sole breadwinner for, she was taking care of one of her parents was like really ill. So she ended up working at the Daily Bugle, but she was actually supposed to be about Peter's age.
I'm a big fan of the actress there. I've seen her in a lot of things.
Oh, this is so heartbreaking, though, in a way. So he's just talking about how great and that we've surpassed Quest Aerospace because Quest Aerospace has lost most of its major researchers. Personally, he killed them. He's talking about how great everything is, and now they're about to sell the company and get rid of Norman. What a jerk. What?
That look on his face.
The betrayal.
What's that?
And he's so
smug about it.
Yeah. Because they're all going to benefit and Norman is out. You're out, Norman.
They don't care.
Yeah. And this woman, the look she's going to have on her face when he kind of gets mad. And she kind of like she's expecting it. Her, just that little shift she does. Just as an extra without any lines. I appreciate that. It's very telling. Just like, well, we knew he was going to be a little unhinged. And I think even this bald guy was actually supposed to be like a known character from the comics. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but I think I remember seeing something that he was actually supposed to be somebody specific. The way he just looks at him over that.
Oh, the way he wipes his mouth.
Yeah. It's almost like the transition between the goblin personality comes out. There's that look. Oh, that little smirk.
It's like perfect.
Out am I? Ooh.
You can see all
so much I love about this movie.
Countries. You saw Australia and Africa and Germany and Ireland. No, I don't. Maybe not Ireland.
There was a joke on Facebook about Macy Gray actually just the other day.
Yeah, I saw
somebody who's very popular, but his voice is awful.
Yeah, it's not big.
And somebody listed her first. I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
the music itself is catchy.
Yeah, not horrible.
But yeah, she's not a good singer.
No. I remember the action figure of Mary Jane was wearing that.
With this outfit. Yeah, I like that outfit. It is a nice outfit.
It has a kind of Chinese, Japanese, Oriental.
Now, it would be considered appropriation now.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't get away with wearing
Which I don't understand, honestly. Because
it looks good. And it's just...
And if you're just admiring, that's not
you admire that look and that culture, you know.
That's not an insult.
It's not an insult. It's like, I like it. I'm embracing it. Even the way she's got the things in her
when
hair.
You're wearing something Irish.
But it is also a World Unity Festival, so she's trying to be like, yes, I'm embracing
when you're wearing something Irish at St. Patrick's Day, you're not insulting. Yeah. At least you're not trying to.
I love that sound, that like, as the spider sense goes off. Your first supervillain, here he comes. Yeah, Mr. Park. I don't know, but he's supposed to be somebody who's actually important in the comics.
That's kind of creepy, too.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure your father's coming because he's probably pretty upset. But here he comes. Oh, Singular Wireless. They don't even exist anymore.
That's right.
I can't remember who bought them. We used to have Singular.
This is the perfect scene.
Mm-hmm. And the way the Green Goblin theme is just slowly coming up. That's our glider. Not anymore, it isn't. And all these people have no idea.
Well, they think it's part of the show.
Like, ooh, yep. They're just cheering.
There's
like,
a panda.
Look at that. It's amazing.
That must support. The panda must be China or something. That's usually what the panda represents. Represent China, yeah. There's Jamaica.
Computer effect doesn't look very good in that shot necessarily, but. And that's the moment you know this is not right. Of course, Peter should have already been.
Oh, I would have, yeah.
And acting like when his spider sense triggered a little bit, like something dangerous coming.
Oh, there's Stan Lee.
There's our man, Stan the man.
He saved the little girl.
Yep. Although apparently he realized he couldn't pick her up anymore, because he's old. Because he was supposed to pick her up and carry her away, but he couldn't do it.
Well, darling, don't sit down.
She fell.
I know. I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, come on. I love this. It's so Superman. The chest pull. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. I love the music for this too.
Out there. Well, he didn't hide it.
Oh, and this is such a scary weapon.
Of course, it wouldn't matter. Oh, that was cool, though.
Flash fries him. I'm like, my goodness. They didn't even get a moment to scream. I mean, he was so precise to make sure he didn't get Harry, with that thing.
Yeah.
Boof.
I love it, man. That looks like something out of a comic cartoon right there.
And this kid's so dumb, though. He just stands there as the stage is about to fall on him. And Spidey's like, come on, kid, move.
Yeah,
kid went into shock.
You always have to have a dumb kid in one of these movies,
Yeah.
I love how he kind of has the purple look on top of his head there. I always kind of wish they'd done a little something more with it, but
it had a believability, though, for being a flight suit, though.
Well, it just looked a little too... No, I'm talking about with a little more purple on the top of the head. Yeah.
Now I feel bad for that guy. That lamppost just hits him right in the head.
Oh, yeah. He had noggin problems.
Yeah. Faster than a speeding bullet.
That's right.
Sort of.
That reminds me of the scene opposite of on Batman 89, where Batman's shooting a Joker.
It's a good thing Mary Jane didn't hear him hollering, Mary Jane, when he realizes she's in serious danger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And here he comes. Trying to save the day, but no, denied. Face full of glass.
Like they're screaming.
Yep. I love the sound effects for the punches. It's very Indiana Jones.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it is.
That big smack is very Indiana Jones punch. Very Spider-Man like move, web in your eye. And he should be saying like this looks important, because that's what Spidey would do when he's pulling your wires out of your machinery. This looks important.
Here's the Superman.
Yeah. Catching the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You've got me. Who's got you?
That's right.
Boing. Terminex. I just realized Terminex sign over there.
That's awesome.
That's kind of funny. As the bug is flying by. Have I mentioned I love this movie?
That's fun.
And it's such a great transition between this probably computer animated thing and then popping up and boof to the actors.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that the blue is dark enough to believe, like his original comic channel, he was meant to be black and red.
Yeah, I remember.
So keeping that darker color. Boing. He actually had a springboard, of course, right there to jump off.
Sure.
But you see her dodge around as she runs over.
So
that's kind of funny. Otherwise, she might have gotten flung over the thing, too. I like he's got a little boo-boo on the
Not
side
that you
of his
blame him.
head. Hit my head.
No, what I mean is you don't blame him for being a little jealous acting there.
Oh, yeah. Peter's kind of enjoying this.
Oh, you gotta be.
But he's also concerned, like, what was that thing? The responsibility thing is still there, but he's also a little bit like, what do you mean? The smile is so great.
I love it.
It's so bad. That's the thing. Harry, being the rich kid, you think he'd be kind of a ladies' man and smooth. He's not. And I appreciate that. That's very Harry. That's who the kind of guy he is.
Well, it makes you know that they're still human.
Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate he finally has a conversation he should have had who knows how long ago.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you never did anything. At least 3 months ago, because it's been over the summer. Now it's college time, so it's probably around the fall, And
he's right. You can't just dream it all the time.
Yeah.
You got to do something.
You got to do something. Well, he's also been very busy being Spider-Man.
That's true.
So.
But he doesn't know that, so he just thinks he's been sitting on his laurels, so to speak.
Yeah. And Harry probably did something as soon as she got broken up with Flash.
Yeah.
Probably went and talked to her.
Because Harry, honestly, is a little creepy in the sense that he's about self more than he is.
Yeah. But, he comes by it honest.
Oh, yeah.
I love this scene. Once again, he hears the voice.
And he sounds kind of innocent.
The split personality is just really well done.
He sounds kind of innocent.
Yeah. Don't play the innocent with me. You've known all along. I love it. I love it. I love it. Over here. Oh, yeah. Follow the cold shiver running down your spine. Such a great. They don't mind being just cheesy enough to make it cool.
Well, it's comic book.
Yeah. Oh, and this is such great acting. Playing both parts right here in the mirror.
Yeah, I think it's one of the coolest scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, watch him just switch back and forth.
Mm-hmm. And the expressions.
Watch this.
Oh. The transition is he turns into Norman as he looks at the newspaper like, you killed them. We killed them.
Look, his face has changed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's very Gollum, too. They did a good job.
Dr. Heckle, Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm. Me, your greatest creation. I love this, like the terrified look he has on one, and then this look, the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Willem Dafoe.
He's the Green Goblin. There's no doubt about it.
You can never replace him. He's so great.
Perfect.
Because he's got the face. It's like he looked how he drawn in the comics, like, oh, I can make that face.
Yeah, I can do that. I am that.
What Green Meanie? Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, because a meanie used to be like
libel spoken. Yeah. No, in print it's libel. I love that. Trust my barber. I love he's got the Rolaids on his desk and everything though too. Yeah, the odd thing is his spider. Well, he's very focused on his targeting. So I guess that's maybe why he didn't trigger the spider sense.
I swear.
He's the one who can bring me to it.
I don't know who he is.
You are you.
Now, see, you got to appreciate JJ there that he doesn't give Peter up.
No.
He still respects Peter. And in the comics, he's kind of almost feels like he's like a son to him a little bit.
Yeah.
He seems like a blowhard, but he's got a heart underneath.
Yeah, he's a lovable dude. But he's a jerk, but a lovable jerk.
Yeah, he's a lovable jerk.
Kind of the Archie Bunker type in that.
And in more recent comics, they have where JJ knows that Peter's Spider-Man, and he tries to help, but he's not very good at helping.
Yeah.
He's like, you should have told me long ago that this was you, and I would have never printed all this bad stuff about you. But you need to fix your image. It's like, really? You're the one that wrecked it.
You're the one that wrecked it, you jerk, you.
But I love this. It builds on top of all of his bad press. It's like, oh, eventually they're just going to hate you,
Yeah.
It really does speak to the struggle. To each his own. But it's so scary that he's got this gas that can just paralyze you like this. It's almost like he can gloat that he's like, yeah, I'm more powerful than you. Which that's what makes Spider-Man interesting, is all his villains are more powerful than he is in a lot of ways. Especially Venom. Which is where they kind of got Venom wrong, is Venom should be a towering, monstrous, big form.
Yeah.
That's just
yeah, exactly.
So one of the things
they should have waited.
I watched something about Todd McFarlane where he's talking about how horrible that was. It's like, have they not seen what Venom's like? Venom should be this overpowering monster.
They really messed up when they should not have pushed on the director to put him in there.
Yeah.
They should have waited. Because honestly, Venom should have been all by himself. on when he had his own movie. I'm talking about with these. It should have waited because Venom was a kind of villain that should have been all by himself. When Spider finally had a Venom.
Instead of mixing with Sandman like that.
Sandman and Green Goblin were already going to be in there. That's far enough.
Yeah. When you have another Green Goblin, with Harry.
Yeah, and so that would have been far enough, and you didn't need Venom. In fact, the Venom by itself would have been a great movie. Yeah. With the whole Spider-Man Venom, would have been great.
You could have built it up. You could
have done that on like the 7th movie if they were going to do that many, which I'm sure they would have if they kept making money, because the next one was going to be
the Vulture.
Vulture.
Yep.
Then you could have done Mysterio. Then you could have done Venom. Then you could, whoever.
You built up to it.
You got...
you could have had the Venom best doing stuff throughout,
villain,
like a series.
Rogues Gallery. I mean, the best Rogues Gallery, in my opinion, is Batman and Spider-Man, almost equal. I still like Batman just a smidge more, but I'm also
you're a DC guy though.
No, I like both, but to me, DC is A+, Marvel's A.
Yeah, no, Batman's Rogues Gallery, they're all completely nuts.
And I love Superman's as well, but I don't think his is as good as those two. And I like X-Men's Rogue Gallery. There's quite a few others. But honestly, the only thing I don't like nowadays is many times on shows they'll go and grab villains of other people's. Like, don't do that.
Oh,
That's not fair. Don't be.
Marvel's getting bad about that.
Yeah, they are. They are. And DC does it too sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like Aquaman's got his own villain. Now, they didn't do this on the movies, so I'm not saying that, but I'm just using it as an example. Like, Flash has his own villains. A great amount, by the way. You don't need to borrow other. The Flash has so many villains. Why do you have to bring in Batman and stuff when you already have so many wonderful villains?
Yeah.
You don't need to bring in all these other characters.
Why was Green Arrow fighting with Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, exactly. It's not necessary.
Yeah. I like that she calls him Tiger.
That's right out of the cut. She does fit that role so well.
She did a really good job.
She did it outstanding.
I can't help it. That fortune teller looks almost exactly like the same one from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
With the thunderstorm coming along.
This part, I love this scene.
Yeah.
What you love about her is Mary Jane.
And look at this Satanist symbol that that they're walking by. The bad guys are coming out from this.
I love how he
upside down pentagram.
There's that Roadrunner thing.
Yeah, that mean Roadrunner thing from back in the day. Mix somewhere between that and Woody Woodpecker.
That's what I always said.
Yeah.
I always said about me Woody Woodpecker as a child.
Yeah.
This scene here.
Oh, these guys are such creeps.
You can't help but fall in love with Mary Jane in this film. I'm not talking about Kirsten Dunst. I'm talking about Mary Jane, the character.
Yeah. I'm glad that she don't take it. She tries to fight back.
Well, that's what's
real. Spidey.
That's what's real about it. Is nobody should just. You'd think they would try.
Yeah, but she's grossly outnumbered. And then the oopsie if she's kind of wet there and. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was a whoopsie, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Though I'd say whoopsie.
It was apparently pretty cold on this set, so. But I love getting to see his face because you see you're messing with Mary Jane, and he almost doesn't want to hold back.
Yeah, get your mask on.
But then he realized, oh my gosh, he didn't have time to mask up. But that, of course, is the most famous thing out of here.
Oh, it's a great scene.
Yep. And she doesn't even recognize Peter's voice. I feel like he should have done something different when he was being Spider-Man.
It works for it.
See, I feel like because I have a higher register voice, I feel like I could make a pretty good Spider-Man voice. And I would try to, this is Spider-Man level, and I'm being kind of jovial and jokey. And then I'd maybe go a little higher for Peter. I'd be up here just to be more Peter. And then I could drop it here, sort of like John Irwin did for He-Man. Adam is up here. But then when he's He-Man, it's just John Irwin's voice. So I would have done something like that, but that's me.
But I'm actually just like Batman. I speak a little bit. That's what I would have done if I had been Peter at that point.
Yeah. I like Neil Patrick Harris when they did the computer animated series that didn't last very long. But when he would come across somebody that knew him as Peter, he would put on this cheesy Spider-Man voice all of a sudden because he didn't want to get recognized. And it was like, that's exactly what he would probably have to do to try to make sure he's not being recognized.
They said in this scene he had a hard time
because he's got water running up his nose.
And she had to do most of the work there.
Yeah. And the cutaway, because really the mask is actually a full body thing.
It is.
Because they didn't want to have seams showing there, so. Yeah, so he reaches his great high. Oh my gosh, she kissed me. And then the Goblin's back to ruin your day. Here he comes to wreck the day.
Green Goblin is
Yep.
on his way.
Now, what the heck was this woman doing leaving her baby behind in the apartment anyway?
Yeah.
That bugs a lot of people.
Well, who knows what the story is behind
Yeah.
that. There could have been reasons, but
Yeah. Now, he does hear this woman yelling, which is good. I mean, but Superman would have had an easier time hearing, oh, his baby's in there. But it just seems like, what did you run out for and not leave somebody with your baby to keep an eye, to where she comes running back and my baby's still in there. It's like, it was kind of irresponsible of you, Mom. You're lucky Spider's there.
It's okay, your baby's fine.
Oh my God. God bless you, Spider-Man. Bless you.
Marianne, don't let him get away! Hold it! Hold it right there. You're under arrest.
Yeah.
I'm taking you
Under
away.
arrest. We're
God,
charging
there's
him with
somebody still
what?
up there.
Rescuing babies?
I'm going. I'll be here when you get back. Not coming back, Chief.
I love that it shows that weird shaky relationship he has with the police where
yeah.
it's like, no, you're actually very helpful, but he doesn't get treated the way he should.
I hate fires.
Especially with what's going on right now in the
that's
world,
right. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
You can't tell. It's not the Coneheads.
Well, you don't expect that until... And there should have been a quick sound of a spider sense, like it goes off immediately. But actually, some Spider-Man comics I was reading here recently, that the one thing I noticed with the spider sense, if he's surrounded by something dangerous, he's got so much spider sense signal going off that he might not pinpoint a specific threat like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. Like, he's in fire, so obviously spider sense is going crazy, but he's not going to pinpoint that, spider sense being triggered by the fact that Green Goblin is right in front of you. It's like, I had never thought of that, but yeah, you overwhelm the spider sense.
That's true.
So this is why he's also kind of getting his butt whooped here too. But if he's got too much stuff, he can't focus. So there's a weakness. Now, see, that's something, because Batman is good at exploiting a weakness. If Batman figured that out, that'd be the weakness to exploit. Put him in, but would
one of my favorite lines.
Batman do that to somebody, put you in multiple danger just so I can have a shot at you?
Drugged up he
would Batman cross that line to put someone in mortal danger and from multiple directions in order to get a chance to get him? That's a good question. But anyways, Thanksgiving. So now you know what time it actually is. Work was murder. I love it.
Yeah, such a slapsticky.
And I wonder how much of there's a recognition because he's seen her before as the Goblin, Mm-hmm. And he's got such a creepy look on his face.
Yeah, he does. He's almost lustful looking.
Oh, yes, totally. This is a fun little bit, too, where he's got to sneak back in his own room and accidentally makes too much noise. Oh, it's so creepy, that look. Oof.
You wretched.
Yeah.
That pumpkin pie. Oh, don't do that to me, man.
Now I want some pumpkin pie. I'm starting to feel hungry. I remember they released this clip on the internet, and I was so excited to watch it. I watched it again and again and again. With a little drop of blood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's cut bad, too. Oh. And the look here in a minute.
Oh, yeah. You tell him, Aunt May. And I love the fact that he hears this sound with his super enhanced whatever, that he heard something. Sees the blood.
What's a bit
looks up. Nothing. But you see the transition in his face. Goblin eyes.
Mm-hmm. You can't hide your goblin eyes.
And I love the fact that he's like, just slipped right out and is hanging on the bottom of the balcony. That's so cool. Now, I actually had to go out shopping on Thanksgiving and go to Price Chopper, and I came back and I said I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get this.
Yeah.
I think Heather actually got the reference too.
Oh, I'm proud of her.
I'm married good.
Yes, she did. She's a sweetheart. That's a good looking turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Doggone it. They can think, uh-oh.
Ooh,
look at this.
Yep, don't slap the hand of the goblin. But the look he gives her, and oh my God, he was so great for this part.
He's perfect. There's no doubt about it.
And like the knife, and just the
my
look.
goodness.
He's just so creepily
perfect,
unnerving.
too.
Yes, of course. Nobody else could have really played Aunt May this
Well,
way.
he looked at him.
Whoop. Now, the one thing I kind of would wonder is like, because Spider-Man, he does heal a little quicker,
Yeah.
but not as fast as like, say, Wolverine.
No.
But I wonder if like, would that have actually healed by the next day?
Not sure.
But, he hasn't had time for it to heal. But it's already scabbed up nicely. Pike Messenger. Yeah, he's just like, oh, that's baloney. I
Yeah,
reckon
because he's just now getting back. So I don't know when that completely happened.
Yeah.
As Spider-Man, so.
Well, I mean, they just left the fire. I mean, clearly. So, but he does not believe that, he saw the wound happen. So he's not buying it for an instant of this Bike Messenger story.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. And they're all hearing it. Oh.
That hurts so bad.
I've got the novelization. There's even a little bit more conversation that happens even right after this, too. Peter and MJ have a little bit of a conversation or something. Ugh.
Oh, that was terrible.
And she hears that. Oh.
I like how it hurts you. That's terrible.
Yeah. And then she's waiting to hear Harry say something. And he said nothing.
He's still trying to get Dad's approval.
Yeah. Because no matter what women say, they want a guy to stick up for them. Mm-hmm. So much as they want to be able to stand up for themselves, they like a guy that sticks up for them. Or whatever comes to who they know that they can depend on you.
That's right. Be your defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he showed that he's not going to depend on it. He's not sticking up for her. And he even argues with her like, well, if you don't know half of what he does, and it's like, oh my gosh, Harry.
Harry Osborn.
Yeah, as she says, yep. I love him talking to the mask too.
That's brilliant, really.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It kind of has this look about it. It's the Hamlet speaking to the skull.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they have a toy or something of this where
the mask comes off?
I knew that, but like the mask on the chair or something. I've seen something.
I bet they do.
I seen something because they had a talking one, and that's where I think it was. It was when they had it with Toy Biz or something.
Yeah.
And
I love she's saying her prayers.
yes,
saying the Lord's Prayer.
Finish it.
Yeah. Which is why I don't like that Dan Slott tried to make Peter an atheist.
Yeah, I hate
or
that.
try to reflect his own things. Like, no, Peter's not an atheist. He wasn't raised that way at all. And you'd seen like previous comics, he has respects for priests and everything. I've seen
churches.
Him,
he'd go up on top of churches and things, and there was always respect towards it.
Dan Slott decided, oh no, he's a scientist. That means he's an atheist.
Boo.
No, that doesn't make you an atheist.
No, in fact.
Those horrible yellow eyes. Oh, it's so terrifying. The look on his face like, oh my gosh.
I know a lot of scientists who are Christians. It's just that in the recent days, and by the recent, I'm talking the last 50 years, they've tried to do everything to, and I'm talking about in science, they've tried everything to prove themselves, the people call them scientists, to say that when you believe in science, you can't believe in faith. That's nonsense, because you have to have faith to believe in a lot of the scientists' nonsense. Yeah. How many times in the last 100 years even that they realized a lot of their quote-unquote scientific proofs have not been scientific.
Right. Science is, as we learn new things, science is always changing. God, however, does not change.
That's right. In fact, atheism Atheism is not true science. That's that's a theory.
Yeah. Now any atheists listening to the podcast are mad at us.
Oh, they'll do. That's fine.
They'll get over it.
I don't care. Evolution is what I'm talking about too. You know, evolution is just a theory.
Fun thing is that she's almost the same height he is.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I don't know how tall Toby is, but I'm exactly Spider-Man height at 5'10".
Her eyes are really glowing with wearing that green and all that.
Yeah.
Her eyes are really glowing. His eyes are glowing too, though. Actually, he's got very bright eyes.
Yeah, he does.
My blue eyes are a lot more as I've gotten older. Well, they're about the same.
I love the Aunt May's eavesdropping.
Yes, I love it. That's someone who really loves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my eyes aren't blue; they're brown because I'm just full of crap. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not. You're ornery, but you're not that.
Yeah. Well, your eyes are blue because they're just full of air.
That's right. And they're kind of, as I'm getting older, they're a little more of a grayish blue.
This is such a fun little scene. Because he's got to like be two people in it almost in a weird way. And that's a weird thing. Where did she get when he's like, oh, I'm sort of his unofficial photographer, and he thought he was going to die there, but then has he mentioned me? It's like, I didn't say I've been speaking with him, but now he's just going to go with it. Like, oh, sure.
I said
it's this very sweet, but very kind of awkward because he's like,
oh, I love how he keeps trying to put in the I said.
Yeah. But he can say things to her because he's pretending he was talking to Spider-Man. You know, it's like he's kind of, he's not quite fully in the moment, but yet he is. Except that he probably wouldn't have the courage to say to her. He's able to say.
He's got this interesting birthmark on his cheek there.
Yeah.
Almost looks like
almost a scar or something.
Yeah, it almost looks like a horseshoe or hook. Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching this first time, and I was like, "What's he going with this?" Because it's awkward, but it works because it's Peter. He can be that way. Yeah.
And he falls back to reality. Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
I love Aunt May.
I love her. She's the sweetest thing in the world. All the Aunt Mays have been good, but this is my favorite because it's more like a comic.
This is Aunt May.
I want an older Aunt May. Now, the best looking Aunt May we already know. That goes without saying, the newer one. So, I mean, she goes without saying.
But she shouldn't be that way.
No. You shouldn't be wanting to kiss Aunt May like that. No. And she just in real life, talking about the actress, I can't think of her name right now, just turned 60.
Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei, that's right. Just turned 60. Don't look 60.
Yeah, she's the age probably she should be for Aunt May, but she's just aging very well.
Yeah, she don't look 60. Yeah. She looks, honestly, she looks like she should be in her late 40s, maybe mid 50s, but she looks great.
Yeah, Sally Field was still a pretty good casting choice,
was not bad
for being
But it's just that the script and all was a little too serious in some ways for, I don't know, I didn't care for those Spider-Man as well. And I'm not putting down the actors.
It's funny. The first one was kind of serious. The second one that went kind of off the rails and goofy.
It was weird.
I still like both of them.
Yeah, they're all right.
But these are the best.
Oh, yeah.
These first two. I still kind of like the Spider-Man 3, too. Especially I've got an expanded version that seems to fix a lot of problems with it, too.
I'll say this. I think they did really good with Sandman.
Yeah. I like Thomas Hayden Church anyway.
He's a great dude. Great actor.
Mm-hmm. This is such an interesting scene because it's you can't tell if Norman is actually like, you know what, I need to do something for my son a little bit, or if he's just kind of being a manipulative jerk because he is kind of
a little bit of both.
He's a manipulative jerk to his son in the comics a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Like,
because he wants to groom Harry into being him in a way.
Yeah. I love that line.
Yeah. And I think maybe Norman has figured like, I treated Peter like he was my son and I should have been doing that for you. I'm going to fix that by killing him.
I feel sorry for Harry here in a lot of ways.
Yeah. But it's important for him to have that moment so he has like his father's taken away from him by Spider-Man that he has that mentality later.
I feel so sorry for him.
I love this scene. Especially, you're not Superman, you know. I love that.
And you know they had to get permission.
Oh, I bet. Well, because they already did Shazam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And there is a little DC thing at the end of this. I noticed a little DC. If I remember correctly, I meant to say if I remember correctly, I remember seeing a little DC Comics thing at the end.
Like in the credits?
Yeah. Like there's certain DC characters. Because they do.
They're showing a little friendly friendship in this over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. This is cute saying, you saw her. Aunt May?
Aunt May? Aunt May?
Is that an angel?
Is that an angel?
Gee, did I say that?
You sure did.
Harry's in love with her. She's still his girl.
Well, isn't that up to her?
She doesn't really know.
Oh, I love that. I love Aunt May.
Aunt May,
Because
very
you
wise.
let her.
Isn't that up to her?
You're so mysterious all the time. Tell me, would it be so dangerous to let Mary Jane know how much you care?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Everybody else knows. Dun dun dun. The face drop. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Because he's already figured out the Green Goblin knows who
I love
he is
that
for some
picture
reason.
she has next to it because you see that's old
family.
Peter.
Yeah.
That's Peter with the glasses, and that's the real before the spider bite, and it looks like it's like supposed to be 2 or 3 years old, maybe longer, more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is great.
But that's what you would do, you know, when you love someone,
Bring
you
them
have them with you,
home.
and that's her with her man and everything. And I love that because that's her heart.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah. And I do appreciate that they do the bridge thing here with her at least, even though Gwen Stacy doesn't get put in there. But
and I'm okay with that because at least because it does
worked.
fit.
Yeah. But just kind of wondered, like, she was clearly like
Whoa, that's scary.
sleeping.
Yeah,
and it makes you wonder, like, did he gas her to make sure she stayed out? And
I'm assuming
stole her away.
That's a terrifying thing. The thought of it.
Because she probably has no idea how she got there.
This whole thing with the children is always scary to me.
It reminds me of what they did in Batman Forever, though, too.
Me too.
Oh, you got to make a choice. But just like Batman, I can save them all.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. I love it. And I love how the kids still don't quite understand the Green Goblin.
It reminds me a little bit of the scene from, I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry. Reminds me a little bit of the scene from, not that it was a villain doing it, well, it kind of was, where the children are on a school bus on Superman.
Oh, yeah. But it's just interesting. The kids are still, like, nobody's that familiar with the Green Goblin, so the kids are like, wow, that's really cool. Look at that.
You're
like,
right.
It's like, you don't have any idea that you're in danger. So the thing that keeps part of Spider-Man interesting is there isn't a worldwide threat. It is still very grounded in the typical Spider-Man threat. Is not a worldwide threat that you need the Avengers. It is something that is dangerous and threatening, but it's enough that Spider-Man can take care of it.
That's right.
Now, that changes a little bit in the second one, you know, because it's something that could threaten the entire city. And this, it could be a threat to the entire city with Green Goblin, what he's could eventually do, but, you know, but it isn't. The world doesn't have to be threatened to have there be stakes that are important enough to the hero to make it engaging.
Well, if it just threatens one life, it's still world-changing in some way because it's world-changing to everyone in that person's life.
And see, part of the problems the MCU has had is people have said that, like, wow, when there's a really big worldwide threat and we only have one hero in this movie, why aren't they calling the Avengers? Because now we know the Avengers is a thing. But people would say stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like in this, granted, we haven't established an Avengers in this, but this would be keeping it low-key enough to where nobody's thinking, whoa, you better call the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got this. So, here we go.
And you don't always have
the
time.
problem with being a hero is there's always some guy with a sadistic choice.
Yeah, that's great. Plus, you don't always have time to call everybody either.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
Now
that's a fact.
choose. We are who we choose to be. And that's been like the point of the entire thing. Is he going to be the responsible and the hero? Is he going to save the people that's the right thing to do, or save the one person? Are you going to be Peter, or are you going to be Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And Peter is Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You see, I had to save them both. Because I am both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be, because I choose to be.
Now, because I choose to
yes. And that's exactly that Spider-Man.
Val Kilmer did do a good job.
Yeah. See, Superman is Superman who just likes to be Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And he enjoys being Clark Kent sometimes. Bruce Wayne is a lie, as Batman is his truth, really. That's what he has said. Spider-Man is, I have to disguise myself, but he's really just Peter Parker with powers.
That's right. That's right.
That's kind of the difference, you know. Just for the dramatic thing, having the webs actually failing, which actually probably wouldn't happen because it's supposed to be like steel cable. And you've already seen that a steel cable is holding that thing with the kids up. So how come the steel cable of his web is not holding up? But it's
too
dramatic.
much weight. Too much weight.
Story needs it for story.
Yeah. That sounds almost like the Joker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this like slow motion kind of thing of like, oh
And you
no,
hear
it
the
almost
wire.
lost it all. And she got so lucky she managed to catch that on her way falling, really.
Yeah.
And I love that New York comes to help him because that's part of also Spider-Man is.
Yeah,
like,
that is what it is. Like right here.
The city is important. And it's, the fact that you see the wire as it slips through his hand is like pulling the red color off his gloves.
I saw that.
It just adds so much. But I love this. They come to his aid and throwing stuff at the goblin. Come on up here, tough guy. I got something for you. I love it. And it's actually, it's the cop.
Yeah.
I love that it's the cop
great.
up there.
Yeah, it is. I never thought about that. It is, yeah. You mess with all of us. Very
Granted,
New York.
he's out of uniform right now, but like it's like, hey, that's the cop that was going to arrest him. But you know, Spider-Man saves people out of there, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to arrest him, man. He's on our side, and he's saving kids. Whoa! But that's the thing with the difference between also like Spider-Man and his villain and what you see maybe with Batman or whatever, or Superman even, is it's just him and the villain. No one's ever going to see or know really what's happening here.
No one says no to me.
It's not that world of, yeah.
Oh.
It's not that world in crisis where the world is watching it generally. Except for the third movie, they did that. But it's just, not everybody in the city even realizes there's this threat with the Green Goblin, you know. But it's personal.
Are you quoting Jaws 4 Revenge now?
Well, no, but
this time,
Spidey's villains, a lot of times, it's very personal.
Yeah. This time it's personal.
Yeah, but it really is.
Yeah, that's true.
He frequently knows the villains in the regular life. It's, you know,
as long
even
as
if they don't know that he's him.
As long as Aunt May doesn't marry Dr. Octopus.
Well, that nearly happened.
Yeah, I remember.
And even in some stuff I checked out of the library, some stuff I'm reading, it has where Aunt May's going to Doc Ock for some help to figure out what Peter's been poisoned with by the UFOs. You know?
Yeah.
So it just shows like the relationship is still kind of there. It's like, yeah, I realize who you actually are. And it never seems like the end. You spun your last web. Here we go.
This was the problem.
Mm-hmm. And I love that moment. He does such a great job with his eyes there, just to show like, oh, no, you're not. You just said the wrong thing. You've threatened the wrong people.
Yeah, I got all vile there again. And he's like, the heck you say?
Because Spider-Man has great strength, but he's also his heart is his strength. He cares for these people like pets.
Mm-hmm.
If he was fighting for himself, he wouldn't seem to be near as strong, but he's fighting for the people that are threatened. And now he's putting Green Goblin on his heels. And he's going to beat the tar out of him through the mask. You would almost think that Green Goblin wouldn't be able to feel it through the punches, because even when he punches him in the face, you hear that clang.
Yeah.
A little bit that first time. The reveal.
But you see he's bending up that mask like a Dickens.
Yeah. Yeah, smashed that mask pretty good, he did. Never really thought of that, but yeah, you can see the damage to the mask.
You killed those people on that balcony.
The goblin killed. I had nothing to do with it. Don't let him take me again. I beg you. Protect me.
You tried to kill Aunt May. You tried to kill Mary Jane.
But not you. Oh my goodness. It's that split personality is there, but this also kind of shows that Norman was on board with what he was doing as his alter ego, his other personality. They were working together.
Manipulative.
We killed them. I like that he goes out like he did in the comics too. And a great line coming up. I miss Kitty Jessie. Be a son to me. Bull crap. I love this.
Because it states back what he said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Zip. I love this. Oh, poof.
He killed himself.
Yeah. Although in the comics, they've changed it to where he's survived it now because they needed to bring him back after this movie. We brought the character back. The only thing is, like, because they wanted him to be able to fall on it, he's kind of stabbed pretty low down.
Yeah,
but in the comics, it's right through the heart, you know.
Yeah.
He just, poosh, and he's hanging on the wall, kind of like Michael Myers killing the one dude, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
For anyone who's seen the original Halloween.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, that's actually going to be a slow bleed out, getting punctured that low. Now, if he'd have stuck around just for a little bit, but he's got to hide his face, he could have said, like, the goblin killed your father.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't save him. But he did stick around, tried to explain anything to Harry, so Harry just takes the assumption that Spider-Man killed his father for no apparent reason.
So what you do is you get the old man to say, I saw you.
Yeah.
That guy
come out of nowhere.
It took.
Their father died by his own glider.
I saw it, and it took him forever to do that line. It took forever to do that line. And when you watch the real thing, you're like, oh, that poor guy.
Yeah. This is such an awkward conversation.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't lose him. He was taken from me. Or stolen from me. Yeah. It's an awkward thing to have your friend that you're trying to console him for the death of his father, who suddenly then says that you're going to pay for it and not knowing that it's you.
Yeah.
Thank God for you, Peter.
Thank you.
Peter, you're the only one I can trust, but Spider-Man is going to die. I can't remember how Weird Al phrases it with his parody song. It's kind of funny. And I heard Harry said he wants Spider-Man dead, but on his buddy Pete he can trust. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've got this awkward situation now.
The Pete he can trust.
Yep.
No matter how hard I try,
I love this realization.
the ones I love will always be the ones who pay.
That is the lesson of Spider-Man right there. People around him could be in danger. They're going to be the ones that pay the price. That's that responsibility and weight that he feels all the time. My brother, when he watched this movie, he was upset by this, and he's like, "What? What about the girl? You finally get the girl. I thought it was all about the girl." It's like, you don't understand Spider-Man.
Well, everybody wants them to be together, but you know, you can't.
It's the weight of the responsibility of being Spider-Man.
And that's how you get to get people to come in to see the other one.
See the second one.
Because otherwise, there's no reason.
Yeah. He's got to have that balance, which he still hasn't quite got. You know, he's just got the weight of the responsibility of who he is being, and he doesn't want anybody he cares about to be hurt, so he doesn't want people to get too close. And after you have this nice heartfelt speech that she gives him too, and to be able to say, it'd be hard to say like, no, I can't. Because what if something happens? You're like, you nearly got killed once already for one person to find out who I was. So yeah, it completely makes sense that he's going to turn her down here in a little bit. But I love that everything she says, you've seen it build up to this. Like, you know, that she's just her without the party girl thing, just being herself. And he's always been there for her regular self. Which is what he's wanted all this time. But oh my gosh. And I remember I was pretty stunned by it in the theater, you know, with what he's about to do. But it's like, you know, it makes perfect and total sense, though. You get where he's coming from. You understand who the character is. And it's...
All I wanted was to tell her how much I loved her. I can't.
You can't what?
Can't believe you're going to make that stupid mistake.
Yeah. But you understand it, the weight of everything, of being Spider-Man and the danger she could be in.
There's so much to tell.
I want you to know that I will always be there for you. I will always be there to take care of you. I promise you that. I will always be your friend.
Youch.
Yeah.
Only a friend? Peter Parker?
Yeah. She's not the type of girl that you normally would get friend zoned, so this would be weird for her.
You see,
you know how hard
cry.
it'd be for him. Yeah.
You don't blame him.
You know.
When you love someone, that's hard, man.
But yeah, when you understand the character, you realize this is actually a perfect way to end it.
Good acting now.
Mm-hmm. But I love the look that she suddenly gets when she's suddenly like, wait a minute, you know, the kiss, something was similar. That look right there to give you the indication, like, well, no, she's going to know at some point. She will figure this out.
It builds up part 2 perfectly.
Yeah,
and it didn't take long. It was like just it
was a couple years later.
Yeah.
They had to be sure they were going to have a hit on their hands, and boy, did they ever.
Oh, my goodness.
We already went through the numbers.
It was huge.
I love this shot as we come into with him swinging. It's so much reminiscent of Superman as he flies past the earth, looks at us and smiles as he flies away. I always love how those in those Superman movies. And this flagpole bit is so much that.
Well, yeah, which also kind of reminds me of Superman on Superman 2. When he puts that flag back up, and he's, remember what he said, Mr. President? He goes, I won't fail you again.
Yeah. Because see, he doesn't quite look at us, but he does come right at us. And it's just like Christopher Reeve, and he would always look at us and smile.
I remember getting the DVD for the first time, and before you pick the film, what you're going to watch, and it just goes back before the flying.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's so great, you know. I just watched it over and over, and I was like, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was watching that over and over and over again.
I did. There was times, because I was getting ready for work, I would just put the DVD in and just let it play.
Fun. I do that still with certain films, this being one of them that I don't mind watching again and again. I don't know which one I like. I like Superman 2, or Superman 2, hello. I like Spider-Man 2 better, but that doesn't mean I don't love this movie.
Yeah.
I'll admit, Spider-Man 3, I don't watch very often.
Yeah.
I've watched it, but not very often.
The director's cut that I have, because this is actually,
I've never seen that.
I bought them individually, but then I got this trilogy Blu-ray set that had the digital copy, and it's got the Spider-Man 2.5.
I got that.
Which is fun, but it has like a director's cut of 3,
now,
which actually is better, and we'll watch that eventually.
Yeah,
we will get there. We will get there. But right now, I'm adjusting the temperature in the home. But that was Spider-Man, and we already covered the spiritual lessons. And, of course, one other thing I always like to pull out of there is the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that the money at the time was called talents.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
I should have looked up where it specifically
I actually have a
defined
talent.
this.
I actually have a talent. Well, I mean, not a real one. Although I got, it's basically, it's a remake, but
yeah, but it's a recreation of
and it's made out of the same stuff. And I have bought, I can't remember how many I have now. I've tried to buy things sometimes. I can buy some more where they're made to be like talents.
Kevin Feige was production executive for Marvel. That's interesting.
Where you can hand them out to people and have like a lesson with it. And I might do that again for the church sometime.
But overall, to kind of sum up the parable of the talents, is there's 3 guys given different types amounts of money, some more than others, and are just like, okay, I'm going to go away, and the guy's going to come back. You have one guy who just buries it, and it's like, well, I knew you were a hard master, so I just want to make sure you got your money back. And then, but the other 2 put in some work to make the amount that they were given grow.
That's right.
To kind of sum it up, I can't remember specifically where to find it all. And so the master goes and says, well, the one who did nothing with it, give that to the guy who did the most with, and whoever, it's basically, it's like they're taking responsibility with the great power that they have. And whoever had the greater amount of stuff given to them, more was expected of them, as of course it comes up with the other thing. And it's like the guy who did the most was given even more to do, more power and to do even more with it.
So lazy, he did nothing, and what he said was such a slap in the face. He said, "I knew you're a hard taskmaster, master,
and you reap where you do not sow."
That's right, and he said, basically, just a slap in the face.
Yeah.
So I did nothing with it because I just going to give it back to you. And he says, "Well, you get nothing then." He said, "You get nothing.
I'll take it away."
Yeah.
So it's those who have whatever power you get, and this is why I take it on personal life, because you have the guy that had just one coin. He's still got something power, and he needs to take responsibility. So even if you don't have great power, you have something God has granted you to do.
That's right.
You have abilities. Now be responsible and do something with it, because God made you special to do a specific purpose, and you have that responsibility to do it.
That's exactly right. And also,
that's why Spidey's my top.
Yeah, I hear you, Sam. I understand, man.
So I may not be able to do much, but it's my responsibility to figure out what God put me down here to do and to serve him and do it, because many people's lives and very souls may be at stake based upon what God has me do. I just don't know it. I don't always see the results, but...
And with the other thing is when our salvation is based on what Christ has done for us, our faith in his grace. But as we grow in the Lord, our abilities grow more. Not talking about our salvation, but our abilities grow more. It's like the Spider-Man games, and others too, but the Spider-Man games, this may sound silly, but in the Spider-Man games, you get more powers as you go on in the games.
Right.
It's not that he didn't have the powers, but he didn't know about it.
Yeah, and he gets better at using his powers.
There you go. And
you're going to get better at your talent.
That's exactly right, with the Lord God.
You wouldn't even have your salvation if people had not applied their talents to bring you in, to do what the Lord asked them to do.
God called me to be a pastor and I didn't know that when I was a little kid. And I remember being so afraid at first. I never wanted to teach. I never wanted to sing. Never wanted to help with this or that, even be a helper, until the Lord continued to push me to try a little harder, until finally, umpteen years later, and by that I'm talking about 40 years later, and now I'm, 40, actually it's not true, but let's say it'd be, 37 years later, now I'm a pastor.
Yeah. I was looking on the credits for like an acknowledgement to DC. I didn't spot it. I should have been looking at the. I did find Kevin Feige's name in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is the spiritual lesson you can get from Spider-Man, which is kind of almost the same lesson each time. But we'll try to, when we watch some of the other Spider-Man movies, we'll see if there's some other spiritual nuggets of things that we get out of it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So, but that wraps this episode up of Watching Movies with My Pastor. Hopefully you did watch along with us. There, of course, you might have heard the regular cut down version where it's not quite as long as the movie, because if we're not saying anything and there's not audio from the movie that I specifically want to share, it will be edited out to make this show just a little quicker. But so hopefully you did, you're subscribed.
Are you flipping out, my friend?
I'm flipping out. We are flipping out of it, and we will see y'all next time. Remember, the only website we have that's even close to what we have for this podcast is over at everlandpodcast.com. Go and check it out. There's a shop in there. I do plan on having some. There's a little bit of merchandise for Watching Movies with My Pastor. I think you can get a mug at this point. But there's merchandise kind of on the way, and Phillip's even drawing stuff. We're probably going to make some merchandise out of what he's drawing. So
fun.
It'll be great. And we'll see you next time, where we do plan to watch Superman.
Yes.
And with February coming up, we got to watch Groundhog Day, brother.
Oh,
we
it's my
know we
fave.
got to
You
do
know
it.
that.
So we will see you next time.